Alex Koyfman claims Sam Altman, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk are backing the Oppenheimer stock, which is led by an obscure US firm set to unleash the biggest gains of the decade. And Koyfman predicts early investors will lock in gains of 8,200% and that the time to get in is right now. I revealed a stock in this video so you don't have to buy Koyfman's newsletter. Just drop a like and subscribe if you appreciate me doing this for you. Before we do anything, let's look at previous publicly available stock picks from Koyfman to see how good he is. In May 2020, Koyfman recommended video game company Capcom and claimed it would dominate the decade. That's been true so far, and the stock has basically tripled since then. He recommended Fuel Positive in 2021, and this stock hasn't dominated the decade. In February 2022, he claimed Next Innovations would kill plastic and save the world, but that hasn't happened yet. In January 2022, Koyfman recommended Byrna Technologies for their non-lethal handguns, and the stock did eventually pay off in 2024 where it tripled. He recommended Graphene Manufacturing Group in February 2022, and the stock had done very badly. He recommended Volt Lithium in August 2023, and it's been very volatile, but overall it is up 25%. He recommended Comstock earlier this year, and it's down massively already. Let's shift back to Koyfman's newest sales presentation and figure out the stock he claims will gain over 8,000%. Here's how Koyfman starts the presentation. A few months ago, an unmarked truck left a highly secure production facility in the Midwest. Inside this truck was the first batch of a very rare element, one that AI cannot survive without. Market price for this element recently hit $11,600 per pound, making it 31 times more expensive than silver. And Koyfman even says OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, when asked about scaling AI, warned, "I don't see a way for us to get there without it." This is another pitch about the power of nuclear energy and how it's very important to AI's growth. Like many stock pickers, Koyfman hypes up small modular reactors. A small modular reactor is a compact nuclear power plant designed to produce electricity on a smaller scale than traditional reactors. Unlike large nuclear plants, SMRs are built in factories and shipped to sites, making them quicker and cheaper to construct. They typically produce up to 300 megawatts of power, can be used in remote locations, and offer enhanced safety features due to their modern designs and passive cooling systems. One thing stock pickers seem to never mention is there are currently no SMRs running in America, and the earliest one will be operating in 2027, and that's if everything goes perfect. Big SMR projects that have been hyped through the years have recently been canceled. However, Koyfman is actually recommending a SMR company here, and instead he's recommending a company that he claims will fuel these reactors. Let's look at some of the clues now Koyfman left. He says this about the company he's pitching. You see, these reactors require a much higher concentration of the fissile isotope U-235 than ordinary nuclear plants. It's like premium, high-octane fuel used in race cars compared with regular gasoline. He continues and says, that's how these reactors can generate an enormous amount of energy despite their small size. And this little-known firm is the only company in the US that can make high-grade fuel of this quality. And finishes by saying, this company brings the U-235 concentration to a whole new level. The concentration of ordinary reactor fuel is only as high as 5%. But this firm's fuel has concentration levels of up to 20%, 4 times higher than regular fuel. Additionally, Koyfman drops a clue that this company is a Midwestern firm. I'm going to reveal my guess for the stock in about 20 seconds, but before I do that, I want to remind you to click the link in the description to check out AlphaPicks. I reviewed over 100 stock picking services, and AlphaPicks performs the best and actually beats the market easily. If you click the link in the description, you get $50 off AlphaPicks. So go ahead and click that link and take advantage of this amazing deal. Based on the clues Koyfman left us, the stock being pitched here is Centrus Energy, and the ticker is LEU. Centrus Energy Corporation is an American company specializing in the supply of nuclear fuel and related services for the nuclear power industry. Centrus operates through 2 primary segments: low-enriched uranium and technical solutions. The LEU segment involves supplying various components of nuclear fuel to commercial customers from a global network of suppliers. The technical solutions segment leverages Centrus's expertise in advanced manufacturing, engineering, and technology development to support both commercial and government clients. A significant focus for Centrus is the development and deployment of advanced uranium enrichment technologies. The company has been working on the American Centrifuge project, aiming to restore domestic uranium enrichment capabilities in the United States. This initiative is particularly important for producing high-assay, low-enriched uranium, which is essential for advanced nuclear reactors and certain national security applications. Here's the top things to know about Centrus before investing, and I'll tell you if I'd buy after. First is nuclear fuel kingpin. a trusted supplier with serious reach. Centrus Energy is a big player in supplying nuclear fuel components, like low-enriched uranium, to power plants across the US, Japan, Belgium, and beyond. They've fueled over 1,850 reactor years since 1998, equivalent to replacing 7 billion tons of coal. Talk about a clean energy titan. Second is revenue rocket, $442 million in 2024 and climbing. In 2024, Centrus raked in $442 million in revenue, up 38% from $320.2 million in 2023. This jump shows they're capitalizing on rising demand for nuclear fuel, but don't sleep on the fact that quarterly numbers can swing wildly due to contract timing. Third is profit margin puzzle, solid but slipping. Their gross profit margin sits at 25.23%, which is decent for the energy sector, and they posted a $73.2 million net income in 2024. However, that's down from $84.4 million in 2023, hinting that margins are getting squeezed by contract mix and costs. Something to watch. Fourth is valuation vibes. Cheap or a trap? With a price-to-earnings ratio of around 11.21, Centrus looks undervalued compared to high-flying tech stocks. But the nuclear sector's volatility and reliance on government contracts mean this bargain could be a value trap if things go south. Fifth is debt drama. Leverage in the hot seat. Centrus has $544.6 million in debt against $671.4 million in cash, giving a net cash position of $126.8 million. Their debt-to-equity ratio of 1.21 isn't crazy, but those $402.5 million convertible notes due 2030 could weigh heavy if cash flow stumbles. Sixth is government goldmine. DOE contracts are their secret weapon. Centrus scored massive wins with the U.S. Department of Energy, including HALEU production and LEU enrichment contracts worth up to $2.7 billion over 10 years. These deals lock in future revenue, but they're contingent on government funding and execution. Nothing's guaranteed. Seventh is Tech Edge, pioneering uranium enrichment. They're leading the charge with American centrifuge technology to restore U.S. uranium enrichment capabilities. This innovation gives them a competitive moat, but scaling it up requires big bucks and flawless execution. High risk, high reward. Eighth is customer concentration crisis. Big wins, bigger risks. Centrus relies heavily on a few major utility customers for revenue, with one bad contract eating 87% of their LEU margin drop in 2024. If a key client walks away or delays orders, the stock could take a serious hit. Ninth is growth glow-up. Nuclear renaissance fuels the fire. With Amazon, Google, and Microsoft betting on nuclear to power data centers, Centrus is riding a wave of demand for carbon-free energy. Their $2.8 billion LEU backlog and $2 billion in contingent sales show massive growth potential, if they can deliver. 10th is stock surge, volatile but victorious. LEU stock has been a roller coaster, outperforming the US market, 23.1% return, and oil gas sector, 13.3% over the past year, but its 16% weekly volatility screams caution. Recent spikes, like a 27% jump after a DOE award, show hype can drive it, but corrections follow fast. 11th is weakness warning, supply chain and Russia risks. Centrus depends on the DOE for HALEU storage cylinders, and delays have already cut production targets. Plus, the ban on Russian uranium imports, with waivers until 2027, adds uncertainty. Any hiccup here could derail operations. So, would I buy Centrus Energy? Well, there are definitely a lot of positives with this company. For one, there's a renewed global interest in nuclear energy, and a growing push to build new power plants, especially as governments aim to hit aggressive carbon-neutral goals. Revenue is rising quickly, and uranium prices have been climbing as demand picks up. On top of that, Centrus seems to play an important role in national security. It's one of the only US-based companies capable of producing high-assay, low-enriched uranium, which makes it a key player in future government contracts. There's also an ongoing effort to reduce reliance on Russia for enriched uranium, and Centrus is positioned to be a pivotal part of that transition. Now, on the downside, nuclear is a slow and heavily regulated industry. Building a new nuclear power plant typically takes over a decade, and small modular reactors, while promising, are still years away from large-scale deployment. The stock itself is extremely volatile. It's experienced some sharp rises and steep drops over the past year. And let's not forget, Anything involving nuclear comes with a massive price tag. We're talking billions and billions of dollars in infrastructure. Centrus will need to keep securing both private and public investment to stay in the game. So, when I weigh the pros and cons, I'd call the stock a moderate buy. I'm not rushing to invest, but there's clearly a real push toward expanding nuclear energy, and Centrus is well positioned to benefit from that trend. Just be ready for a bumpy ride. The nuclear sector is full of delays, political debates, and unpredictable swings. And make sure to click the link in the description to check out Alpha Picks and get $50 off this incredible stock picking service.